I mean, it's so ironic that it's Chris Paul, like, making a shoot off for a ring because, he hasn't won a ring. So it's just so ironic.
No one made that joke. How come no one made that joke on the show? Or did it? Was it cut?
Were you close to making a Chris Paul? How close were you to making a Chris Paul ring joke in the middle of it?
Welcome back to Viewer Discretion. I am joined, as always, by my co-host, David Dennis Jr., to recap the Love is Blind Season 9 reunion. Also, first time ever on the show, we are featuring an interview today.
Journalism.
Patrick, and I'm so glad it's Patrick after watching the reunion. We reached out to get Patrick before, and now after watching the reunion, I'm really glad because I think his segment made me the maddest at the lack of questions being asked. So I want to get his thoughts on that. I mean, we'll get to it really quickly. David, initial thoughts on this reunion before we dive into everything that happened or didn't happen?
I had to rewatch this morning because I thought I was tripping balls last night watching it. It was such a bizarre episode of streaming that I had to realize, like, it did not feel real. We'll get to this. When Chris Paul showed up, I was like, am I on what drugs have I accidentally taken tonight? It was such a the musical montage at the beginning with the band playing. Then there's Chris Paul. Somehow we felt totally off the rails for Love is Blind reunion.
It was also like in a fever dream, like rainforest cafe location. It was interesting. There were some juicy parts, and it seems like everybody dated each other after, which I definitely want to get Patrick's thoughts on, because I found that to be very interesting and maybe again not like probed enough, perhaps.
Yeah.
There was not. You and I, like, I think the final thing I'll say is this was not as vicious as past reunions.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like, it felt like a lot of the couples agreed to be civil or just are civil. Mm-hmm. So there wasn't like war the way we've seen alliances. We talk about the girls coming with the game plan. There was no real like villainizing here. And the one person who I think was a villain did not get nearly enough heat.
Yeah, there was we've reached another sort of turning point. I think similar to Love Island, where the brands are very cognizant of the brands, right? And so everybody did the things pre-reunion, sort of, I guess, kind of offsetting what we usually see, which is people getting caught off guard and people like not being prepared. Everybody seemed to be prepared enough to try to come in and win, and they were not pushed enough beyond those canned responses, which if there ever was, we're just going to get to it. If there ever was a case for the viewer discretion takeover of the reunion, this is it. This was an hour of game footage of just like, look, Nick and Vanessa, you ain't cut out for it the way we are. You're just not there.
You got to break out the telestrator. Pause. Right. Here's what circle point extra. Okay, let's get into it. It started with Megan and Jordan. Speaking of civility, I predicted they would be civil. They were incredibly civil. This was actually kind of short too, which was interesting. They start with Jordan, asking him about his kid, and by the way, Jordan looked amazing.
Yeah, he looked good. He kind of he looked great. It's all the chicken smoothies were
great advert. I thought they both looked good. That was another thing. There's been like crazier outfits too in reunions past. I didn't think anyone was. There's no one I was like, whoa, what's going on here? They kind of asked her about like what went wrong, and she just said she feel like she regretted some of the things she said and did, but she felt like she wasn't getting the full picture, which I think was kind of a euphemism for like he had a kid. Yeah, this was too fast. You and I have talked a lot about it. They didn't get into what seemed to be the actual core of their fight, which was him being tired and the communication stuff. And if they did, it wasn't shown.
Yeah.
They asked her about they asked him about, the regretting the introduction to the son. Again, they both handle that super well. He makes it clear it's not about her. It's about me as a father. This was I thought he took a lot of accountability for I'm the one who put my kid in this situation. I'm the one who came on as a single dad. Overall, by the way, just 10 out of 10 performance from Jordan. And we'll do the power rankings at the end.
The whole way.
The whole way. He had some great reactions. I thought he was awesome, and she was great. So we get the big surprise, but at this point, every single person on earth knows that. They ask her about the mom comment, and she's like, "Well, I got a baby." Baby Brooks, and Paul, the dad, is in the audience. So they give the timeline, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, they were they made very sure to make sure that this aligned, because the rumors had been that she had been like seeing this guy during the show, and there was a lot more sort of nefariousness to the rumors, which Sparkle Meg has been the source of a lot of online vitriol, and which we discussed, but especially since it was revealed that she had a kid and all this stuff. There have been rumors, there's been a lot of nastiness, there's been just way too much stuff that we talked about. I don't think she deserved, really.
She also, speaking of timelines, revealed that she went on dates with Mike.
Yeah.
And Blake.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Blake one was a date. They all made the point to be like, we all love Blake.
Yeah.
Blake's the best.
Yeah.
Who wasn't there. I like how Blake just like pieced out on the Love is Blind, everything about it. Really quick before we get to her baby, Mike, also Jordan was very gracious, I thought. He was asked about Mike's comment about, the kid and the diabetes stuff. And, he took the time to spell out the difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes. He also said Mike apologized directly to him. He even made a donation. He says, I forgive Mike. Everyone should forgive Mike. So there you go.
There was a moment I was like, he's a better man than I am. Because I just went out. There's no way. There's no way I would have been that gracious about this dude. But Jordan just is a saint. So
Jordan is, he was to me like the clear winner of all in all of this. Okay, so back to the baby though. Baby Brooks. We see the baby, very cute, very small baby. So the timeline was they wrapped in April. She was introduced to this guy Paul in July. They had a baby 3 months later. So very and they're together.
Pregnant 3 months.
They are pregnant 3 months.
Yes.
Very important. That's how science works. They didn't say. Vanessa, to her credit, wasn't like, so are you getting married or anything? But Paul was there. Paul, it's so funny because everyone's like, oh, she married a rich guy. And it's like, none of you even know anything about this man. But then it was clear.
It was clear.
What about his look?
The first thing I said when I saw this dude, I was like, oh, she went back to a rich dude. Like she was like,
how do some guys just look rich?
He just looked like.
To me, he looked like Billy Zane in Titanic.
Yeah.
The bad Kate Winslet's like evil rich husband or whatever. He also looked a little bit like Tom Haberstraw. Shout out to Tom. I don't know anything about Paul. I'm sure the internet has done.
The internet has found that he does. He is some sort of automation guy, exec or something like that. Got the bread, got money. Sparkleback said, "I tried, hanging with the poors, and now it's time to go back to the rich." But what was interesting is she said that. It was like rocky. She was like, it's rocky early on. Like she was just kind of saying there was like definitely a rocky first 3 months or so, first 3 months or something like that. So we don't know. It's interesting to see how it started. But I was kind of doing a little speculating because I was just like, I wonder how much she actually misses just hanging out with Jordan a little bit. Like I don't know.
Okay. It looked like there was still something there.
Thank you. Right.
The way they were looking at each other and talking about each other, I was like watching it and thinking like there's still feelings here.
Well, I think that I still believe that, and we talked about this, like they could have, if they had more time, they could have just worked this thing out. And I think their relationship, I don't think their relationship would have happened without the show, but I also think the longevity relationship was a victim of the show's premise, right? Where they had to figure out something really tough very quickly. And I think if they had somehow in the world met and like didn't have a timeline and said we could try to figure this thing out, I think they would. Because it was really stuff that is kind of logistics, like how do I do this with the money? How do we do that? I think they probably would have come to a solution where she's like, just quit your job. I'm loaded. Like I could take care of us. And they could have worked it out. But I think it may be a thing that this guy offers stability. He's got money. He has a certain lifestyle, but she kind of just likes hanging out with this other dude with aggressive ankles and tattoos.
So aggressive. I mean, he was looking good. I don't blame her.
Yeah.
She was feeling a little nostalgic. Anyways, there's not much to say with them. I didn't feel like I wasn't like, ask them this. I think they both came across well.
Yeah.
It was very mature. They're both, I thought, likable people.
What'd you think about her staying out the group, keeping it out the group chat? was
not telling people about the baby. And then Kacie knew, which
Casey
was confusing.
went to
but it
the
wasn't
baby
clear.
shower, but people signed
friends?
NDAs or something like that to go to the baby shower. And
I don't know. I wonder. It's such a spoiler. I don't think this has ever happened. That it's like maybe she talked to Netflix about how to handle it. I don't know. That was it was interesting. That's another thing I will say. I don't feel like in past seasons it feels like there's been really strong gender breakdowns with the friends. I didn't feel like all these girls hang out at all.
Well,
frankly.
A few of them hang out and they just get plastered together and mess with each other's boyfriends.
Eskimo sisters.
But we'll get
okay, not much else to say about them. They're like I said, good. Kacie and Patrick. This to me was the most infuriating part of the reunion.
Yeah.
And we should actually like leave some meat on the bone here because we're gonna actually talk to one of the people who was part of this. So they revisit what happened with Kacie and Patrick.
Yeah.
She says, all I wanted to do was protect you. And someone in the audience has an incredible reaction to that. Jordan also. Shout out Jordan. That was when I was like, my guy. Yeah. He was losing it.
And he was like, I have ADHD. What can I say? But he just...
the girls were like, eh. They actually asked a couple of the girls, I think it was Madison and Kait, and they were both like, this doesn't really track. Yeah. So she says, they ask about the ring thing in the call, and basically she says, well, you told me I could keep it. He said, that's when I thought you were going to see me again in Denver. And she wouldn't call, she wouldn't meet. We know that. The thing that drove me the craziest about her and this performance of hers was the constant deflection.
Yeah.
And I think he was very nice and he was direct.
Yeah.
And she would constantly say, well, then when I did see you, you called me ex-wifey. Shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Or, but then you posted a TikTok that called me a side chick. Again, give me a freaking break, lady. It was like every time he brought up the very obvious lies that she told on the show, she would counter by deflecting to something else. And it was just very eye-roll inducing.
Eskimo sisters cannot talk about people joking when they meet up.
Yes.
I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? You can't have it both ways. You can't do that. And yeah, she was totally deflect. She would either deflect to this thing or pick this one detail that somebody said that was not happening. It was Love is Blind UK photo booth tactics where she would just pick something and say, didn't happen, you're lying. And
honestly, one of my least favorite things in people is when they do this, when they try to get out of a lie by, like you said, deflecting or focusing on a tiny detail. You know what you should do when people do that? You call them out and ask them direct questions.
Yeah.
Which did not happen in this segment. So what I would have asked, not to Monday morning quarterback this, is I would have turned to her and said, hey, America all saw you tell this guy you still loved him. You're going to see him again. And then immediately told the producers this. Why the discrepancy? Why didn't you just come clean? And then when she would say, well, I was trying to protect him, whatever, which has been her kind of response, I would have done a follow-up question. Cool. Do you think lying to him was the best way to protect him, knowing that all of America would eventually see all this?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Those are very valid questions that any person hosting a show would ask at the time if you're qualified to do such. Just throwing it out there.
And is there anything else you would want to ask her before? So there was a Joe thing, Madison thing. It's kind of a separate thing. Yeah.
We still kind of don't have a straight up why the change, right? And then she also kept saying, I wasn't ready. The excuses she was making about I'm not ready to see you, don't want to see you right now, were so bogus. You can't really do that, right? You can't really do that to a guy who is at the time of some sort of belief that you will have some relationship going forward. That's not how it works. It works if you had said, I'm breaking up with you, I don't want to do this. Then a week later, he's like, can we talk? But you have left the dude on an island thinking that you guys are still engaged or still a couple. Then you can't turn around and say, I'm not sure if I want to do this anymore.
And that's where the whole protect his feelings thing is just so obviously exposed as BS. You do not protect someone's feelings by drawing things out, manipulating their emotions, and then not actually being an adult and speaking to their face. It's really immature and really lame. We've talked about this from the beginning with them. It's okay to not be attracted to someone. It's okay. But as an adult, And you don't even have to, she didn't have to tell him, I'm not attracted to you. You know, that's a hard thing to say to someone. Hey, I'm just not feeling it. There's no
It's
spark.
not working.
Hey,
Yeah.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Move on. All right. Well, should we talk about the Chris Paul cameo? We can ask. That was when I was like, am I hallucinating this? What is happening right now?
It'll be interesting to see what Patrick thinks about being on the worst segment in Love is Blind reunion history. No fault of his own. No fault of his own. He was just part of something that, because Chris Paul comes out. They do first of all, they were doing this because I guess she kept making shots in the pod. So they had Chris Paul. You're going to shoot for the rings, or like kind of just shoot to see who wins. And then it gets tossed out that whoever wins gets the rings. And then Chris Paul pops up out of a tunnel somewhere and he's doing his thing. And it just made no sense whatsoever. And they tie. They each get 3 shots, and and you keep going. It just does not end.
We can ask him about it. I have so many questions. Also, yeah, well, let's save that for when we talk to Patrick.
How many Chris Paul ring jokes can you?
That's what I know. I was like, yeah, Nick. But I guess you can't do that. That would be crossing the line.
Oh, you could ask the guy if he could help Patrick because he understands what it's like to have a ring snatched from you at the last second. I don't know.
I think Patrick is a sports fan, so he can.
Yeah,
he's aware of the lore. Okay, so the heat wasn't over for Kacie. So then they flipped to Joe and Madison.
Yeah.
And before we get to their breakup, Madison, and again, this was already out. I wish Madison had given like a pod interview somewhere and like, told this story. And I was like, God, this would hit so much harder if I didn't already know it. But basically, the night that they broke up, Kacie had like, in Madison's words, 2 paws on his chest.
Mm-hmm.
Love to call them paws.
Right.
And then so it's actually revealed because they asked Kacie if she dated anyone else, and she's like, I don't know how to answer that. And then she admits she dated Joe, and then this comes out, and
this is for we've been doing this long enough for me to notice that when the mimic voice comes out, that means you've reached Mina's like 7th circle of hell hatred. when the impersonation comes out, it's like, I despise this person.
As someone who gets accused of having vocal fry a lot, purely because I'm a woman, I'm actually grateful for the existence of these clips so that I can send them back to people. Okay, so then she says that later Kacie saw her at a party and told her they were Eskimo sisters.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's look, Kacie, I will say, I think this was a tough look for Madison because she was implicating that it was part of why they broke up. And as viewers, we knew that was very obviously not the reason why, as Joe said, that they didn't end it. So I feel like that's how she wanted to present it, and it didn't come across well. I also feel like Joe kind of was like handled it fine. I don't know. I mean, he was like, okay, we dated. I don't know. Like, what did you make of this whole big reveal? And Kacie, who also dated or hooked up with Brendan, said she said that was false. Sorry.
I really felt, and we'll talk to Patrick about this. I really felt like, as bad as a break he got, he dodged a bullet, because Kacie was absolutely going to be the person who showed up in the pod reveals or the pod bar thing, and is the person who's like, I'm absolutely flirting with somebody here. I didn't know you look like this. And Patrick kind of was going to make his experience much worse. It kind of feels better knowing all this stuff that it ended early, as opposed to him being the guy who, like, we've seen these guys who are optimistic and want to have this thing going on, and not just the guys, but the other person just drags them along. And you see that they're clearly into other people, because I don't think that her being with Patrick would have stopped her from trying to hook up with Joe at a bar when they were all hanging out together.
Madison also brought up, or I don't know, maybe she was asked about it, sorry, the body stuff, which was to say Joe on the season told her once in an off-screen conversation that he had typically dated smaller girls, and then he told the camera that as well once. And she talked about just kind of like the internet, all of this, the comments she's gotten. I thought, to be honest, his apology was pretty good. Like, he was like, hey, I feel terrible about it. I was just trying to say this was my past experience. Never should have said anything. Also, I was incredibly sexually attracted to you. All we did was F and F, which was kind of a good line. And yeah, like I look, the guy's obviously not serious, like he's not marriage material. Let's not.
Right.
But I kind of think generally he came out of this looking pretty decent. I don't know, not decent is the wrong word, but like normal.
I think he came out looking too dumb to be to be like a bad.
He's not
person.
a villain.
I think, but I also think that his that explanation is probably the worst moment for him, because this idea of like, well, I can't be like too unattracted to you because we were having sex. Like that kind of is not.
Yeah, that's true.
That's kind of not the way that works. But
yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that again, this is part of the experiment and the experience, and you got to figure out how to say that. I mean, he just does not seem like the type of guy, and I'm not trying to excuse it, to be able to articulate an answer to that question in a way that's not going to have somebody impacted by it, and I think somebody better equipped would have probably handled that better. I think also if there's follow-up questions, we could have asked him about his home and the PS4 that he plays all the time. There's a lot of follow-ups that we just missed about Joe and Tyler. But he's hot stuff. He was dated. He's got a woman now. Kacie was on him. The ladies love him.
I would have also asked if he had any interest in Kacie before they broke up. Just, interested. Like, did you look her up? Whatever. Or he would have denied it. And I would have asked Kacie again, like, were you interested in him while they were together?
Yeah.
But, okay. Nick and Annie and Kait, who got a lot of screen time in this. But so Kait, because Annie really actually was barely in this. Say something nice about Annie. Her hair looked better.
Her hair
it really did. It did look better.
She got that. She follows Reddit as well. She saw it. I actually thought this in the Nick stuff was the biggest sort of failure.
Okay. Yeah. I have. Yes. Okay. So he immediately starts out with apologizing to Kait, saying he tried to use his faith to control the situation. Again, I don't think he's a bad person, but it was extremely rehearsed sounding.
Yeah.
Which
absolutely.
And Kate's like, she basically hits that over and over. She's like, it felt like watching this back, you were just ChatGPTing everything you said, giving us the same lines, etc. And he's like, I don't know, he was pretty genuine with me. I think, let's talk about what they should have pressed on here.
Yeah.
Because the thing with Nick that we all wanted to have pressed was the switch up, right? When he went from saying, and Kait tried her best. She was like, you said you would die for me, da-da-da. I really think they should, first of all, okay, there's multiple things. The switch up, they should have showed the clip.
Yeah.
And made them watch it and make him react to it. Secondly, they never asked about the faith LGBT stuff. Nick's come out and spoken on it. So clearly he felt either like shame or whatever. To me, that's something that should have come up here. Like, I would have loved to hear both him and Annie address that.
Especially if he's
referring to their conversation about how they would react if they had LGBTQ kids.
Yeah, especially if he has come out and said it was chopped up a certain way and production did this sort of thing. I think that there should have absolutely been some sort of situation in which they press him on that and ask him, what do you think now? What is, and like they just we never even saw it. They never addressed it. They
do ask Annie, who she was texting during the breakup. Who cares?
But don't care at all.
The reenactment.
It was Steven.
Joe apologized to Nick, said he has a good heart. Brendan and his friend. He's lying. He doesn't like him.
Yeah.
I just feel like Kait had to kind of try to do this whole segment by herself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. She was carrying the whole thing.
Trying to hold you accountable, and he was doing the like, I did the work on myself, and I'm Lena, whatever. There should have. I just feel like I wish he had been pressed more on the abrupt switch up, and then I would have liked to hear him talk about that. But it's fine. Annie came out pretty fine. She was like barely. I mean, I don't know if there's anything I would have asked her, to be honest. Like,
except for the pot, that moment in the pot. Like, what do you think about having kids? What do you think about all this stuff?
Yeah.
I would have asked her about that. Yeah, because also we didn't really get. I mean, his answer to Annie about why he didn't want to be with her was kind of, your question. Like, we didn't even get good answers from him at all, about that either. Like, he just kind of was left to give his two speeches that were, like you said, clearly, I think, actually literally word for word rehearsed speeches. and was not pressed beyond that. It was disappointing. It was really disappointing.
Ali and Anton. So before we get into the substance of it, I thought he looked good. I know he was like very casual, but like his hair looks a lot better. I don't know, I'm just saying. I was like kind of like feeling it. In general, I think he like he handled himself pretty well in this. And they seem civil. So, we should start there. So this one, they asked about the bathroom conversation, which was I do wonder why they didn't like show more clips for them to react to, because I think that would have been helpful in some ways. But he says it was nasty work. I only met her twice, and his friend's broken up with her. So,
yes,
Melissa,
there you go.
Farewell.
You did well. The usage rating was incredible while you were there. Just made the most of your time.
Chaos agent, absolute chaos agent. They don't really get into the alcoholism. So he talks about the strip club stuff, but they don't get. I wanted your take on that, because they asked him about the strip clubs. He's like, I'm a single man who went to strip clubs. Kill me. But they didn't ask him about the alcoholism. What did you think of that?
Again, why not? Why didn't we get it? Like we got, because we also would want to know what her thoughts, like, did that impact her decision? Like, because we had speculated that there was something that she didn't say at the altar. There was something bigger about why she said no, and we didn't get it. All we got was her saying, "You're not the person that you were," and that's it. And we're just left with it.
Charlie texted, Kacie was engineered in a lab for Mina to hate. But then that was from earlier. But he said he made a comment about how he used to drink and he used to get beer after work. So I don't know. I think not including that made her look worse, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
She said that she felt like they didn't have serious conversations in person. He says he felt like it was the reverse. Again, it wasn't acerbic. It was just kind of, this is why it didn't work out for us. He said he was like really tired. I actually think the whole schedule thing was a big part of why this didn't work. Like, they both work nights. It just seems like the lifestyle was not the right match. Vanessa she mentions the friend's comments and asks if it was a part of her decision. And she says no, which I kind of believe.
Yeah, she kind of was dismissive of them at the time. Anyway.
Totally agree. She said her friend is Ukrainian. There's a cultural thing. She said she knew it was over when he wore flip-flops to the meetup.
Which was a pure deflection of the actual question that was asked of when did you know it was, and she just made a joke. She
was making a joke, It's funny because they showed him at the end. He was wearing slides, not flip-flops. There is a big difference.
This is like the tangerine
in my book.
This is like the tangerine thing at the end.
Those are slides. I was like, those are not flip-flops. There is, I don't know about this is revealing too much about me, but men in slides is like infinitely more acceptable to me than men in flip-flops for some reason. Okay. Something about flip-flops and the way those like toes look, and you can see I don't know, it's just I can't do it. He's been in a relationship for a year. She was there.
Yeah. Melinda. Yeah, she was. Weird camera work because I didn't know which one of the two women it was.
I was like, is it the one? They kind of looked alike.
Yeah, they were.
They were about the same age. Yeah. Oh my God, I felt the exact same way. My mom was like, oh, leather jacket. She probably parties with him. Which is such a dumb thing to think. Ali, this was the worst part, I thought, of her whole appearance. When she was asked about her personal life, she said, I appreciate the interest, but I want to keep my personal life personal, aka the Huda Mustafa.
AKA, my man is on Perfect Match. Tune into Perfect Match to find out who she's dating next. I guarantee it.
Netflix doesn't allow me to say that. Love Island fans will know the reference.
Huda in the news as of late.
Oh my God. Every time I open the internet, I'm so glad we're not covering Love Island, because every time I opened Reddit and it showed me like Love Island Reddit, and every single post was a statement or apology from someone. And I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah, Huda, Alandra, and Shelly having a statement off right now.
And then people deleting statements and posting new statements, and like it's not. I don't know.
What, if I had told you 6 months we started this, that at the end of the year this whole saga would end with one of the cast members donating to the NAACP, what would you say?
At least Love Is Blind, it's just like a diabetes foundation, right?
Right.
Okay. That's it for Ali Anton. This will not be the last we see of Ali. I'm telling you that. She is definitely going to be in the reality universe, I feel like. Prove me wrong. I don't know. We'll see. No, Charlie hates Huda so much. Not just bombing us with Huda takes. Okay. Final couple before we get to our interview with Patrick was KB and Edmond. Okay.
Yeah.
So this went exactly how I thought it was gonna go, right? Remember, I was like, she's gonna say he was different off camera. Immediately, she's like, you were different off camera, which makes it hard to adjudicate.
Yeah,
to be honest. We can get into like the specifics.
And she pulled out her notes, which they showed the previews, like, ooh, and she was like, no, I just kind of like forget what I have to say.
The substance of what she was saying was that he manipulated her with their tears and made her look like an angry Black woman. She felt like she was a stereotype. And then whenever she would bring up reasonable concerns to him, he would just love bomb her in response. Which does square somewhat with what we saw.
Yeah.
He also said there were times when you were PMSing, and I was like, don't do it. He said that. Okay. So yeah, again, I found like I really do I find this hard to parse, because when someone says you act a different way on camera, I'm like, well, we only see one thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, comments can be like, he didn't seem that bad,
right?
But it's entirely possible he was being a jerk off camera in ways we didn't see. What was your take on this interaction? Because it was kind of boring.
Yeah, my take is that, again, they shouldn't have made it this far. You know, like there's a couple that should have. I don't know. I would be interested. Again, the follow question I would have had for KB is, what did you see to make you feel like you could even make it to the altar here? Right.
This was the question.
That's the question
that needed to be asked.
Yeah.
Why did you walk? Because he said after the altar, he thought she was going to say yes.
Yeah.
If I was there, I would have said, KB, why'd you take it all the way?
Yeah.
Did you seriously believe until that moment that you were undecided?
Yeah. Because there was nothing. Because even she said the obnoxious story, you're being obnoxious, and he gets on the, like, I'm not sure if Edmond is love bombing or if he is just an extremely emotional dude, right?
Yes.
Who just cries at the drop of a hat, who gets extremely, rattled and emotional about all kinds of things, who was in a situation with somebody who he felt like was out of his league and was very scared that she would go somewhere and it would send him into a panic and all that stuff. But at the same time, the KB thing is why some of these things are so very hard to, like, reality TV sometimes be very hard to watch, because there is a substantial internet corner, again, that is, as soon as the finale happened, is like KB is the biggest villain of the season, right? She's a super villain. Yeah, there was like, this is super.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's like she is the villain. She's the worst person on the show. Da da da. And then it circles back around to where we see this Black woman, and you're just like want to attack her as a fan base, and it's a cyclical thing where it's like, can we like accurately criticize or critique or question or interrogate what's going on, but also you have to offset all of these people who are popping up out the woodwork and saying nasty things about her because of who she is, right? And that's what makes the, we talk overall internet dialogue so nasty and all that stuff.
Yeah. Right.
But, for the purpose of this, I just think that they were not a match. They were never a match. And the biggest question is, why did they take it so far?
Totally agree. And she kind of addressed that a little bit. She was like, no, we were in it. I wanted to see this through.
Yeah.
I read somewhere in the interviews they had talked about how they were actually physical, just not have sex. But they were just a bad match. I watched them, and even when they were communicating on stage, I was just like, these people have no business being together. They bring out the worst in each other. My feeling, if I had to like come down on the whole like tears manipulation side, is just, and you talked about it, he's emotional. I think he was probably annoying. He's probably a tough guy for a certain kind of person to be with.
Yeah.
And I could see how that could make her crazy, especially if she felt like this annoyingness wasn't like shown or whatever.
And tough, especially for what we know about her choices, about like what are her preferences in a man. Like she wants a manly man, a man who handles business, an alpha male dude. And this dude, for all of what we could say about Edmond, is not that guy. Like that's not how he rolls. He
did not come across to me as manipulative. So that was my I don't feel like that's not the vibe I got from it. And she, to her credit, did apologize for the way she spoke to him.
Yes.
Which I think was important. And they were very nice at the end. He says, if not for this experience, I never would have gotten a woman like you. She was clearly really touched by that. They hugged. they seem to be on okay terms. I hope people come out of this being nice to both of them because they're not villains in my book.
I think that they both. Like this ending was so much better than I thought heading into the finale. You know, like I thought we were in for a car wreck. And it just was a no, and they were both kind to each other, and for them to hug at this moment and seem to be like okay is much better than I thought we were heading at.
Should I do the power rankings in front of Patrick, or should we just do them now before he gets here?
I want to see Patrick's thoughts on the power.
Okay, okay. So let's take a break, come back, and Patrick can react to my power rank. He's high on them, so it's a safe bet, and
it'll be.
I think you all know who's last.
And Patrick will be here, and Chris Paul. No.
All right, we are back. And we are joined by a guest. I'm so excited to have him on. We've been talking about him nonstop. I left a comment on a People Magazine Instagram post complimenting his glow up. Now we get to see the glow up in person. Patrick Suzuki, welcome to the show.
I do watch you guys' show, so thank you for having me.
Well, we watch you. We just watched the reunion. We're fresh off of talking about the reunion. So we want to ask you a couple questions about that because you're fresh off of watching it, obviously. My question, and Dave, you go after me, is there anything that surprised you that was said by anyone? It doesn't have to be a thing involving you, other than, of course, Chris Paul being there, which we will get to.
Yeah, I mean, I think it surprised me a little bit that Kacie brought the ring. I didn't know it was going to be like that big of a debacle, getting the ring back and then shooting for the ring. So it was kind of a lot there, but that was surprising. I think all the other stuff was pretty much stuff that I already knew. I was expecting a little bit more drama, but it seemed as if everyone came in with a pretty mature mindset and just trying to talk it out and ask for forgiveness, give forgiveness, and things like that.
So, all right. So we're starting with the ring. So this is like a damn Infinity Stone. I want to know the saga of the ring, like, because peel back the curtain a little bit, because I want to know the process of getting the ring, who pays for it, like how do you pick it, to giving it to somebody, to wanting it back. Like there's so many ring questions. Like just break down the timeline of this ring and how it all works, and how it works, and specifically in your case.
Yeah, basically when you're about to get like ready for a proposal, which is essentially the last day, you discuss the ring that you want between you and your partner. And, you know, she's telling me, like, she's giving me clues as far as like what she wants. And I'm just trying to pick out like a really solid ring for her. So I picked out the ring that was just standard, that's provided by production. I didn't pay for it. And then, you know, I thought it was a really cool ring. It was like a teardrop ring with like gold band. I remember it. I think it was one of the cooler rings. But yeah, pick the ring, you know, do the reveal and everything like that. And basically, I'm sure you guys already know, but within hours after the reveal is when I get, you know, a knock on my door saying, "Hey, Kacie wants to speak to you." So that kind of just caught me off guard because I'm waiting to go to Baja. I'm waiting to like hang out with her because the reveal is very short. You don't get to spend much time together, to be honest with you. You're just like, whoa, and you're just like filled with adrenaline, and you don't really get to test out like physical chemistry as much as you would think, because like that's how the show works, right? There's the pod chemistry part, and then you go to Baja, and then you see if the physical can match it. So we didn't really get to test that out, and then I get to, you know, we go through the messy breakup scene, and then obviously I'm getting gaslit. But you guys have watched the reunion. I need to start by saying we've already made our peace. So this is just regurgitating the previous, or regurgitating the back scene. So sorry, I didn't start with that. But
okay, so you just hit on the gaslit is what happened.
Yeah,
I actually, that's kind of what I wanted to ask you about as a follow-up, because I feel like there was so much talk about, like, at the reunion, like, is she going to give him the ring back? And Chris Paul, whatever. I kind of felt like it was never really addressed that she just lied to your face over and over. And there was like split screens where she was talking to the producers. And, you know, I've said this on our podcast. It's okay to not want to be with someone, right? Like, it's okay if you meet someone and they're not for you, or there's no spark, whatever. My issue with her and how she comported herself and was that she didn't act like an adult and just say it to your face ever. And then I felt like she still didn't at the reunion. So my question for you is, do you feel like she ever took accountability for what I believe was the true issue, which was the dishonesty, not her decision?
Yeah, I mean, I think she just really struggles with taking accountability in general. I think that's just her personality in general. So I'm at this point where I'm just like,
Mina, would you agree? Was it?
Sorry, Patrick, you're walking into where it was 45 minutes of me where I was just like just ranting about this. I was like, I know when somebody never takes accountability. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. And it's one of those things where if, that's something that she's got to deal with, that's her own personal problems that she has to deal with. So I'm cool with it. I think we made peace. I don't feel as if it's super genuine, but I think maybe it is slightly. So that's how I feel about it. It's a tough situation when she's going through a lot of backlash, and I'm just trying to make peace with her to get over it, and like move forward from the entire debacle. So yeah, that's how I feel about that situation.
And so in the reunion, she mentions like a couple of things, right? She mentions like you guys want to hang out and you make a joke about baby mama or ex-wife. And then she talks about a TikTok, I thought it was funny. I thought it was a fine joke to make given the situation. And those things happen. Like, what was your read on those, like her bringing that up, but also like you trying to like figure this thing out after the taping was done?
I just got to backtrack, but we filmed this like a year and a half ago. So coming back, it's like we come back and within a day, the cast is trying to meet up with us, and and like the cast is like inviting us out, and I'm just like, I just text her like, well, what do you like want me to tell everyone? Like, I don't know what to tell everyone, because are we still like dating? Are we like engaged? Like, I don't know where we're at. And she's just told me that we need to tell everyone that we're broken up for now. So I just was like right there, just like set off a fuse in me. Essentially, I just was pretty upset. This is like, I'm talking less than 24 hours since we've been back. So yeah, I'm pretty upset. I mean, I'm coming off of essentially a double heartbreak in my eyes. I was in a lot of pain from it. So I was pretty distraught. I'm not gonna lie, for a while actually, but that's here nor there. But anyways, yeah. So I'm pretty upset, and she essentially just gives me the cold shoulder, and she's not being very communicative. So, and kind of leaning towards her like gaslighting tactics. So for me, like I was like, I just wanted to understand where I was at. So I was like, I asked her for the ring as a test to see how she would react. I just wanted to see if she was like, does she care more about the ring, the show, me? What does she care about here? And she essentially just said that you think you're the only one that got hurt in the situation, and she said she was done, and she stopped talking to me right there. So, like it was just a little test text. Obviously at the scene at the Stampede, where you guys see where we're hanging out and getting drinks and stuff, I'm just trying to explain to the guys like how the whole entire debacle ended, because I was just trying to get their perspective. Because this first time I seen the guys, they just got back from Baja, like the five guys, and we're tight, right? Like we gossip, like that's what we do since we don't have our phones and stuff. So we're gossiping in the lounge and stuff, which is funny to say, a bunch of grown men gossiping, but I mean,
like being at a frat house.
Yeah, seriously, a frat house, and we're close. Like we're all really close. But besides the point, yeah, that's essentially what happened with the ring debacle. So I didn't see her for a long time. I saw her once at a pool party, which is mentioned in the reunion. Passed her by, but I just was completely over it, and then didn't see her probably for like a year, literally until the reunion. And I didn't even know about the background footage. That's the thing. Like, I didn't know about the background footage, or her telling me that I'm unattractive and attraction is not going to grow for like until like maybe a month before it was going to air.
Was that hurtful to see, not having seen it, and then like finally gotten over it, and then you got to see all that stuff, and then the stuff you haven't seen?
But yeah, but it made it easier for me to approach like the reunion and everything, because I was like, wow, she clearly says why she was breaking it off when I didn't even know for a long time. So it's like, a ton of clarity, and like it's like I don't really need to say much, after that. It's just
Did you know about the Joe stuff? Was that like well known in the group?
I didn't know for a while. That's the thing. I didn't know until basically like Mike's pool party. So there's this pool party that we all went to. This is like the first time the cast finally went.
I know. I wish this was on camera.
I know the pool party is like a missing episode from the season.
Seriously, well, that's so funny that you say that, because it was, I mean, just the absolute debauchery, right? Like everyone's all broken up. Like yeah, and then everyone's at this like massive house. It's like 12 bedrooms. Like, it's called the Splash House. Not trying to promote it, but anyways, massive house with a pool, and everyone's drinking and just trying to like steal healing. We're all still in this like trauma phase, and one by one, the entire cast is there. I think like one person missed it, and that's when we're all joking. We're all just drunk, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know you guys dated." And we're I haven't talked to her in like months, so it's like I didn't really care, and like I wasn't really hanging around the guys very much or the girls. I was kind of just doing my own thing, trying to figure out what was going on. So that part was divided. It was like it didn't really matter that much. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, did it work out for you guys? And they weren't even together. They obviously, you guys know Joe was with a new fling at the time. So
I'm trying to wrap my head around a party of 12 people who've gotten their engagements called off. It's just like drinking and like everybody's sad, but like it's just like it's a movie in itself. So let's get to the moment of truth. Chris Paul comes out. Explain to me, like, did you know that you were going to have a free throw contest for the ring? Did you know Chris Paul was going to be there? Did you want to talk trash to him as a Nuggets fan? I want to know the background of Chris Paul showed up.
I had no clue, but the funny thing is that because I was a special guest, I was like chilling in the background, like I wasn't on stage yet, and Chris Paul was walking by, and we both like recognized each other. It was so funny. I was like, Chris Paul, and he was like, oh, Patrick, and I was like, oh, yeah, what's up, bro? Like I was like, yeah, what's up, dude? And so I'm like, okay, something's up, I was like, why is Chris Paul coming to the Love Is Blind reunion? I don't know. I heard he's like a super fan, so good for him, But then he comes out, and then it's like, it's just, I mean, it's so ironic that it's Chris Paul like making a shoot off for a ring because, he hasn't won a ring, so it's just so ironic.
No one made that joke. How come no one made that joke on the show? Or did it? Was it cut?
Were you close to making a Chris Paul? How close were you to making a Chris Paul ring joke in the middle?
I wanted to so bad, but I know Chris Paul, right? He's a pot stirrer, Like I don't even know if that was scripted for him to like be like, you got to shoot off for the ring. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that was Chris Paul doing Chris Paul type ish things, So yeah. Anyways, yeah, it was pretty wild, and then you guys watched the basketball scene. It was like it was crazy. We went to triple overtime, and she beat me. She beat me fair and square, and at the end of the day, she already said her apologies. She returned the ring, which that's the most important part of the entire thing, that she like said sorry and stuff like that. So like playing for the ring, it was like I lost fair and square, and I literally totally wish her the best, and like let's stop the hate comments at her, because I know she's getting it pretty bad, but she's good. She apologized. Like I accept her apologize. It's okay to move forward.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I always, Dave and I, we talk about all these shows. We always talk about like, it's okay to like we'll talk about it. We'll be critical, whatever. But leaving comments on people's actual pages and sending stuff to them is unhinged behavior. As someone who gets a lot of that myself, do not do that. It is actually freaking stupid. Patrick, I want to go back to the pods and move on from the Kacie stuff for a second.
Thank you.
Although I did want to ask you how you reacted to her seduction scene, but I will leave that one. Yeah, I want to go back to something a little more serious in the pause, which you mentioned you watched the first episode. So we talked about this on the first episode because it struck a chord with me. I think it struck a chord with a lot of Asian Americans who watched this show, which was you talking about your identity and wanting or not wanting to share that. And she pushed you to share it and you did. And, I mentioned on the show that like growing up, I'm a little bit older than you, just a little bit, but, we didn't see Asians portrayed as attractive in media at all. And as a result, a lot of us are still like, it's only recent, right? That like you're starting to see that more. So we all have like lots of insecurities about how society perceives us, especially Asian men. And you talked about that. And I wanted to ask you what it was like watching yourself back expressing those insecurities in public, because this is not something, Patrick, candidly, that I've seen talked about a lot on TV.
Yeah, I think it's definitely hard to talk about something like that. But in my eyes, I think being like really vulnerable like that with your insecurities is essential to building a really strong relationship. So like in that moment, it's like I tell people like her and I are both sharing insecurities. So we're like bonding over it. And partly too is that I didn't understand the rules of Love is Blind either. Like I didn't know if I could share that.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
do I share this right now or do I wait?
Mm.
And then like I went in it with this whole mindset. I was like, I'm not. They're gonna have no idea on what my ethnicity is because I'm from Colorado. My name is Patrick. I'm a construction manager actually. So I was like, I'm just gonna hide it to the real deal if I ever make it there. But then it was like it got real serious real fast. It was like, like we're gonna get engaged and get married. So it was like, okay, this might be an okay time to just reveal it. And I asked for permission too. I was like,
Oh, interesting.
before I did it, I was like, I think I need to reveal this because it's funny because Anna and I already knew it within like minutes. Like
context clues were like, all right,
yeah,
they're on it. Yeah.
but it's actually funny because I actually knew she was Asian before she knew I was, like quickly because I was piecing it together because she was like, oh my family came here, was in New York, and then we moved to Fort Collins. I was like, okay, how did you get to Fort Collins at the age of 5? And then I was piecing it together, and then when I pieced it together, that's when I started asking her questions, and she started to pick up on it. Like, why does he know? Why is he asking the right questions?
Yeah.
And we didn't tell each other for like 2 days, and then I think it was like 2 days, and then we started laughing about it. Because we like you see that there's a scene where her and I are doing a Spider-Man meme scene, and we're just like we're the same, and we still didn't reveal it because we don't know like if we can because of the experiment.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's super interesting. It wasn't until the next scene, like it was like 2 days later, where she's like, "Oh, you're Chinese," or I was like, "You're Chinese, huh?" Or no, she told me she's Chinese, and I'm like, "Man, that's hot." Or she's like, "Man, that's hot," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's so hot." That's when we actually told each other, even though we already had a hunch we were both Asian. So,
interesting.
But back to your thing about the Asian male stereotypes, there was like a weird phase where it got suppressed in like the 2000s. Like the representation for Asian men was like, it shout out to the reality TV OG William Hung, right? Like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys had Brad Pitt. You guys, I'm not saying like, I'm not trying to.
Dave didn't have Brad Pitt.
I'm not trying to pull a race card here, but I'm like, you guys got Brad Pitt, freaking George Clooney, and then we get William Hung. But shout out to the guy for trailblazing it, right? Because he stepped up and did it. You know what I'm saying? And then like it was like The Hangover came out with like Ken Jeong, and it was like even Rush Hour, the movie was like even slightly stereotypical, but at the time, it's just joking. We're all just joking and having fun. But like that type of representation wasn't maybe the strongest for Asian men in that period. And then now we're doing great, right? I mean, ever since Jeremy Lin like exploded the world, like it's been progressing greatly, and I think like we're on such a good trajectory. Like especially this younger generation, they're so humble.
It's different.
They're so like they're so sweet and like just they're not even looking at race at all. And it's just so important. That's why like Asian male representation on mainstream media is so important. Or even any race, any type of neutral representation is like way more impactful than like the stereotypical stuff or even the high praise stuff. Because even like for Asian women, there was that period in time where essentially they're just kind of like
Lucy Liu, and that's it.
yeah, or like even like a fetishized period. And I'm trying to be really, really calculated with my words right now because this is a
No.
very, very sensitive topic, but it's very polarizing, right? And I had this conversation with, and I hate to bring her in, I had this conversation with Taylor Krause from season 7 last night. And she was like, yeah, it's like so polarizing, right? There was like,
Yeah.
Asian women are like the most attractive demographic, and then Asian men were the least attractive demographic, like based off data, right?
No, it's hard not to internalize all of that.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I was getting at. Like I was watching you talk about it, and like you were obviously like, I don't know what to reveal, and I've dealt with these insecurities, and I'm like, yeah, like I'm sure there's a lot of Asian men watching and being like, those are the exact insecurities that I had to deal with my whole life. And that's what I was thinking watching you talk about that. It's like,
but at the same time, I mean, I want to know from a personal level, like you come into the show and you're talking about these insecurities and these stereotypes. You have essentially 2 rejections that you kind of are unsure about what the motivation is for, and maybe you carry that with you. And then the show comes and there's all of this Patrick glow up, and now it's like Patrick, like how does that sort of
Coms is leaving comments about how good you look.
right. Like it's all like it's different, right? For you, like what does that do to you and for you? Like how are you like dealing with this sort of change in perspective from a totally like massive audience now, given where you came in on the show?
Yeah, I love that question, dude, because when you get heartbroken like that, I mean, I think a lot of people just go on this healing journey where they just hit the gym super hard, or like, they try to they're just like, F all this. Like, I'm just
women get bangs.
Yeah. Yeah. Like just work on yourself and stuff like that. But it was really, really crazy because it was like, it's funny that because I never knew why Kacie cut it off. And like, for me, I'm just going deep into the depths as far as like, why, like, is it because I'm Asian? Is it because I'm ugly? Is it because I'm not in shape? Is it because I'm not smart enough? Is it because I'm not making enough money? And I'm just breaking it down. And then and then I just figured it out. And it was like, dude, it's like confidence, man. It's not even like, it's like internally, like you have to love yourself and then be confident within yourself. And then like the right person will reciprocate that same type of energy. And that's where the sweet spot is when it comes to like finding love, instead of like internalizing the stereotypes and stuff like that. Which I know you read Reddit, right, Mina?
Yeah.
So I already sorry, I already know, because like I know you're deep in those threads, and like I hate how Reddit, like all these people are like internally racist and stuff like that. And that's like just
do not read Reddit threads about yourself. I speak from experience, my guy.
Okay.
Do not only read Reddit threads about other people. The second you see your name, tap out. You don't want to read it. You don't want to know.
Fair. I wish someone would have told me that after the first week, because I was like, whoa, what's going on here? But like, that's just but that's like the wrong word, and then people are like jumping in on it. It's like, it's not internally racist. It's just it's super layered, right? Mainstream media, me growing up in Colorado, I was the only Asian kid in class. Even on my dating apps, I'm like, I would change my location in New York or LA, San Jose. I would get hits like
way
crazy.
More, yeah.
And then in Denver for years, I wouldn't even match with someone that I was like attracted to. So
I appreciate you drawing that distinction between insecurity and internalized racism, because they're 2 very different things. And like, I'm agree with you, and I would also be frustrated to see that. So you talked about how like confidence is what kind of makes you attractive, and you meet someone, right? And David and I talked about how like we loved your scenes with Anna because you did seem confident, and it was like it felt like a real, like, I was like, wow, I love this version of this guy. Like, I'm watching him and he's fun and he's like, this is kind of sexy and they're cool. And like, and it was like, really, we were really rooting for you. And then she left and she came back. There was the one, the get together, she showed up And David and I were a little bit frustrated by that scene. We got like one scene with her because we still never really got an explanation for why she left. So I was wondering if she said there was an explanation given to you either then or before then, perhaps, that we weren't shown.
I gotta first but say she reached out to me when I got back, so she had the kind gesture of like trying to get coffee or a drink. We didn't have enough time though because the first time I ever saw her was right there at the country bar.
Wow.
So we didn't even I didn't even know she was gonna be there. I was like,
yeah.
I thought Kacie was gonna be there, and then she was there, and I was like, oh. But anyways, sorry. Besides the point, she just said she was sorry. I never really understood why exactly. I think she said it was the pressure from her family and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's such a high pressure show. Like to get engaged in 10 days is like an immense amount of pressure. So like that's why I give her and even Kacie like leeway, just because it's just so
kind of you.
Yeah, you got to have some serious mental fortitude if you're going to try to do this show and try to get engaged. The experiment works. I mean, it clearly works. There's 9 couples. I met 3 of them last night, and they're just awesome. And it's like when you go through an experience like that, like the reveal, I promise you, that's like the most like bonding thing you could ever do. I think in any type of relationship, it's like you talk, and then boom, you're just glued at the hip after that. That's a bond that's hard to break. So to answer your question, yeah, I give her grace, but I never really understood exactly the reasoning. So
the other thing is that I kind of felt it was unfair the way that they've been talking about the fact that how could you like her so much and then you get engaged to somebody so much. That felt very gaslighty because yes, that is the nature of the show.
Yeah, I mean, and you guys watched a reunion last night, and I'm glad they aired it, but she left at day 5. Like,
yeah.
I would say the guys that got engaged and the girls that got engaged, they had multiple connections on day 10.
Right,
yeah. Like I like after she left, I was just like I legitimately was devastated. I didn't even know where she went. I didn't know if I was going to see her the next day, and like I'm still got my date with Kacie, and I just go in there and I'm just like, oh, what's up, Kacie? And like for like a day, I'm kind of just trying to decompress, but at the same time, I'm not telling Kacie. I didn't tell her about it because it's like I wanted to maintain the integrity of our connection. I didn't want it to influence her and I, but yeah, so she left day 5, and like even past seasons from the show, like you see people go with their second connection even after they went with their first connection, like Zach and and Bliss.
Kwame and Chelsea are still together.
Kwame and Chelsea, who I love them, they're awesome. And that was Kwame's second choice, right? And like. You know what I'm saying? That's just how the show works. And
it's not normal. It's not a normal dating.
It's not like
David and I always say this. The normal rules don't apply. Like it's not normal.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. A few more questions before we get to making you sit through my power rankings. Were there any couples where you were so obviously nobody got married? If you had to pick one couple where you were like the most surprised watching all back that they didn't get married, who would it be? Because you thought like they had a real chemistry or real bond or whatnot.
I felt like Jordan and Megan probably had the best shot. They seemed like they were compatible emotionally and compatible physically. So like you got to have both when you're going through this experiment. So yeah, I think they had the best shot. I mean, you can clearly see like Joe wasn't that like super attracted to Madison. Joe's my boy though. All the boys we're super tight. We got this like super deep romance going. It's actually kind of funny, but
we think he's very funny. So he's really funny.
Is Nick included in the romance?
Yeah, for sure. Nick's one of the boys. I mean, some of the boys on him, and he's the internet's kind of a little harsh to him, but he's a pretty good dude. I really do think he's a good dude. He's a great snowboarder, great skier. He can like rip double backflips and like crazy like that. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like the guy is.
That's a great guy answer. He's a sick snowboarder. Okay, you talked about the bromance. We talked about the frat house. What was the dumbest thing you guys did to pass time back when you were killing time?
I hate to say this, but like. We're so bored that we're just gossiping so much. But I think they took us out of the scene, but we're singing a lot. Like we're singing. Like I'm telling you, like we were doing like sick acapellas that I wish you guys show the background of that. We were doing like sick acapellas of like hit songs, like rapping, like yeah, like Edmond just loves to rap, and we're just trading beats. So like, because you don't have anything, like you can only play so much pool, and you can only gossip so much. So yeah, a ton of singing, pretty embarrassing.
Give me a rap. I want a rap comparison for who Edmond is. Are we talking more like prime Lil Wayne? Are we like Jay-Z? Like what's the Edmond rap comp that we're dealing with?
Edmond's like a mix of like 2 Chainz and he's a mix of 2 Chainz and Kanye. Like he got lyrics, but he's just dropping like crazy lines, you know, like you know how 2 Chainz does it. So yeah.
Is he truly just like that quirky as he appeared on camera?
Yeah, he is insanely high energy. It's wild to hang out with that guy, but he's awesome. He's like, anytime I call him, he's always there. And he's actually a really smart guy too. Like he's like a lot smarter than I think it seems
portrayed.
Yeah, but he's got some insane energy. I don't know how he does it.
All right. Do you have any other questions, David? Or are you ready to
let's do it?
Sit through my power rankings.
Let's do it.
Nice. This is
all
awesome.
Right. All right. 1 second. It really got shook it up by the reunion. I want to say that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, let's just say okay. So I'm doing everyone who was there. I maybe not Kait because all right.
Yo.
No, I mean she didn't do
She was fine. She just
whatever. She's fine.
Came in.
Okay. So I'm putting Jordan and Megan at the top. Jordan looked amazing. Megan, they both seemed very mature. Like they're really kind to each other. Jordan had incredible reactions to everything. Patrick, what do you think of my top 2?
Yeah, we have to. They're the most put together.
Did you also see Megan's partner / baby daddy and say that guy is rich? Is that the first thing that came to your mind? Did you clock him as a rich dude when you first saw him?
That's so funny because that's not the first time I met it. That's not the first time I saw him. I know this is crazy, but I actually went out one night and ran into her, and she was with it. This is obviously past filming, but
yeah.
So that's what's funny about it. But yes, I think he's got some guap.
It's because he's bald and then was wearing a suit. There's something about that.
It was like he wears suits to Walmart. That's what the vibe was.
Yeah, he plays tennis at 1 p.m.
Shocker number 3. Patrick comes in at number 3.
There we go.
Let's go.
There we go.
Great reunion showing.
Let's go.
Well, it'll take a while before we get to his partner or whatever. But I thought you came out well. You look good. The basketball scene was, not the best, but
not the best show. Yeah.
But you look good and you came out well, Patrick. So you should be happy.
Let's go. Thank you.
Okay.
Could have used a little bit more backboard on the shot. I think that you would have been number 1 if you didn't use more backboard. The backboard was the key.
I felt that wasn't fair. I was like, I can't use the backboard. I gotta try to switch it.
You gotta switch it. Yeah,
you gotta switch those ones. So
okay, this is gonna surprise you, but I'm putting Anton at 4.
I love it. No, Anton's my boy. I love that because he seemed
cool.
He put some serious effort into this. You know, like he was in love with Ali. Yeah. So like, you watched the wedding scene. He was heartbroken.
Heartbroken. I thought he came across as like very chill at the reunion. We couldn't tell which of the 2 women they cut to was his significant other, but he's got a girlfriend.
He's got
his hair looks good too. I like his new look. You know, he went with more of a casual vibe, but I'm factoring in fashion into these power rankings.
Okay, fair enough.
Mina's been traumatized by the Love Is Blind UK fashion from the reunion,
terrible.
Which was
terrible.
The hair was.
You guys actually. Well, the hair, we'll get to. Yeah. All right. Okay, another shocker. I'm putting Joe here.
Whoa, Joe!
I love it.
I know.
Mina's soft spot for Joe grows with every episode.
I just think he's funny. I'm sorry. The scene with Nick, which I do not believe for 1 second he doesn't like that he likes him, but whatever.
Yeah.
That made me laugh harder than anything else this season. The "he's not my guy" scene.
Yeah.
Patrick, that was one of the funniest scenes.
The most memeable moment.
That was the joke of the season. He dropped it. Dang, we got 4 guys in the top 5. Let's
I
go.
know, I know.
There we go.
It's
For
too
the
many
top
guys.
5.
I know. I'm going to be accused of internalized misogyny. Okay, no, we're gonna put a girl next. So I'm gonna put Ali here, because I think it was an excellent audition for Perfect Match.
Perfect match. She is there. Lock it in. Patrick, you doing perfect match? Did you do perfect match?
Oh no, I could not. I'm sorry, but Ali does got versatility. She can literally do anything. She can do like Bachelorette, whatever. So
Yes, right?
Yeah.
Perfect Match. Come on, made for it. Okay, so next 2. I'm gonna put Edmond and KB here in that order. We talked to Edmond and KB are next. Yeah, like David and I talked about this. I had a lot of trouble like deciding how I felt about their relationship because she would always like allude to stuff that happened off camera and being frustrated. And I was like, I don't know if I'm getting the total picture. Ultimately, David and I just came to the conclusion that these are 2 people who should not be together. Like, do you think that is accurate based on your experience with them?
yeah, I'd see it as if their chemistry wasn't. They just were not clicking. Both great people, but yeah, I felt the same way watching it. It was like, oh man.
Glad they had a decent ending.
Yeah.
Why were they cutting to Edmond with the basketball? They just like randomly would cut to him. He had a basketball in his hand. I don't know if it
Really? I didn't remember seeing that. I don't know. That's funny though.
At 9 is Nick GPT.
No, you're a savage.
I'm sorry, but he sounds so rehearsed when he talks. I mean, he seems like a nice enough guy, and I thought he came across reasonably well at the reunion, and he looked fine. So he comes in ahead of the final. The 3, they're all women at the bottom.
You put him above. You put him above Annie.
Oh,
okay, I'm flipping it.
There you go.
Annie next.
Annie, nice girl, man. She's a real nice girl. So
of course, the hair improvement.
The hair improvement. Her hair looked a lot better. You don't have to comment on that. Don't worry about it. Her hair looked a million times better at the reunion. She actually, you know what? You're right. She should go above him because she like came off like totally fine. She like didn't barely said anything.
Barely talked. She just kind of laid back.
Yeah.
All right.
Didn't get too involved.
Next is Madison, who I thought she had risen dramatically at the end, and now she comes plummeting back. Because I just felt like I don't know how you could watch back the season, which you guys do the reunion after you've seen everything, and still think that Joe broke up with her like for reasons that were not incredibly obvious from the moment they met. I just felt it was like a little like, come on, honey. Like someone's got to like, you know.
It's pretty drawn out, right?
Yeah,
I agree with you. Yeah.
Sorry, you don't have to comment on this, Patrick, but we're putting Kacie at the bottom. Nope, you don't have to comment.
No worries. Notice anything.
My rankings do not belong to the opinions of other people.
She's lovely. She apologized. It's great. You guys have made peace. She's at the bottom.
I just don't like it when David just heard me rant about this. When people deflect and like focus on like tiny little things, like when people are asked a question or like confronted with a lie, and they're like, "Yes, but." You were wearing a blue tie that day. It's like my least favorite quality in people when that particular thing. So anyways, it's fine. It's fine.
Fair enough. I love the power rankings. Those were solid.
Yeah,
solid.
You agree with them?
Yes,
all right.
I do.
Well, that has been our coverage of Love is Blind Season 9. Thank you so much to the lovely Patrick Suzuki for joining us.
First guest.
Our first guest. We just had to have him. David and I are contemplating doing Married at First Sight. I've watched the first 2 episodes and enjoyed them. So leave comments if you guys are watching it too. It's pretty good. It's very sweet so far.
Yeah, and if you do, go back. I mean, this is for you too. Go back. Married at First Sight, Atlanta, Chris, the most devious, terrible reality TV person of all time.
Oh, I know.
You have to see to believe. You got to watch on YouTube to see it to believe it.
Okay, I'll take a look at that. Yeah.
All right. Well, Case, thank you so much to Patrick for joining us. This was a ton of fun, and we will be back next week.
Yeah.